Welcome to CXO, a magical podcast to help you serve better and concoct experiences that are superlative in nature. I'm your host, Supriya Sharma, bringing to you in each episode didactic nuggets so you can get inspired to sprinkle stardust in your company, your home, and the community on the whole.
We have in our show today Santosh Sharma, the CEO of BookMyJet, which is India's first tech platform for private jet and helicopter booking. Santosh co-founded 4C Aviation Private Limited in 2009, which has carved a niche for itself in the field of aircraft and helicopter charters, plus aircraft sales and purchase. I'm so happy to announce that he is also the founder of online business networking platform, which is 4Biz. And the idea is to have small and medium businesses as members from various cities and promote collaboration amongst them. Among the various awards that Santosh has been awarded with, the most recent ones include Business Mint Nationwide Awards 2021 Under 50 Business and Corporate Leaders, and Indian Achievers Award 2021 for Business Leadership. Santosh, welcome to CXO.
Thank you, Supriya, and thank you for having me on your show. It's my pleasure.
I know one thing, that if there is something that you're really passionate about, that's an aircraft. Santosh, right. Tell us, what's so fascinating about an aircraft?
Okay, I come from a very small place called Jamshedpur. So all the people who knows about it, but who doesn't know, this is a house of Tatas. Tatas originated from Jamshedpur. So there was no, airport, or it's not a big city. But my father used to travel a lot during that time. He used to work with Tata Group. He used to travel a lot. So sometimes he used to travel in airplane, and he would come back home getting those those chocolates and all those stuff from Air India. It was Indian Airlines that time. So I used to get really fascinated, and everything. And every time my dad will ask me, "What do you want me to get you from wherever he was?" I'd say, "Get me a plane or a cricket bat." Cricket was the only thing that we had that time. Mm-hmm. So once he got me a plane, and which had those lights, on top of that, and I was like, "Wow, what is this all about?" So for me, it was like it's something different. I've never seen that. Somehow I fell in love with it. And I think I was like 7-8 years old that time. So from that time, I knew one thing, that the one thing that I wanted in my life, I wanted some way to be closer to aircraft. So my love with aircraft started from there. And I think God has been very kind to me, and I've been living my dream for last almost 17 years now in aviation industry. So that's my, yeah.
Okay. You know why I asked this question? Because aircrafts are something that excite me also, and primarily because my first degree is in aerospace engineering. But the reason I took up that course was basically to understand what makes airplanes fly. That huge metal bird in the sky, seeing it and watching it fly itself is a marvel of science and technology. Yeah. So that's why I studied the course, and you have a business in itself, which is wonderful. So about BookMyJet now. Santosh, take us into the history of private charters. I mean, with specific reference to the customer experience, the way customers used to book private charters before, and how BookMyJet has revolutionized the space that we are currently in.
Thank you. I've been there for last 17 years in this industry. But of course, this industry has been there for about good, I would say 50 odd years. When I entered this industry in 2005, I absolutely had no clue about it, what's happening. But then in a year's time, I realized that this industry has got huge potential. But what was lacking is how the operators or how the players were approaching the potential target audience, right? So there was no marketing, there was no digital marketing that time, nothing was there. So, it was a cold call, visiting customers. But that was a traditional way of dealing with customers. You give an aircraft, they fly, they come back. That's about it. There was not even a feedback system that time. There was no feedback form. There was no, CRM system in place. And more so, we're looking from the customer's perspective. As and when this industry revolutionized, in 2008, 9, suddenly there was this disruption in the market. A lot of people started buying their own private jet. A lot of people started flying. They started realizing the the value of flying a private jet. And then there were a whole lot of people who wanted to fly. The one question that they always had was, how do I book? Where do I get the information from? Right? Getting the right information is a huge challenge still in today's market. So I very strongly feel that many customers land up flying a wrong aircraft and then paying more. So we wanted to actually get rid of all these problems, answered these questions of customers, and that's where BookMyJet happened. We started working on it 3 years back. It just happened that we got a query for 3 sectors on the same day, and from 3 different customers, and we did not meet up. We could not meet up with even one of them, and that's where the problem started. I said, why can't we have some platform wherein we can see where are the planes located? Right? Today, people know that Delhi has maximum private jets, Mumbai has, Hyderabad, Bangalore, but these are the base. How about people who are in tier 2 and tier 3 cities? They are the people who are actually making the noise, most of the noise today in the market. They want to fly, but they cannot because there's no plane out there. But many times it happens that there are private jets which has gone to tier 2, tier 3 cities, and they're there for for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and the customers out there do not even know about it. So I thought, why not to create a platform wherein at least people whosoever in India to start off with would get a chance to see where are the planes available. They can see all the information about the plane, the technical specification, the number of seats, number of crew, the pictures, interior, exterior, everything that they want to know, and then go ahead and book the plane. This not only save time, which is the 80% of the problem, but saves hell of a cost for them. So that's how BookMyJet happened, and this is how we are trying to change the way the general aviation industry has been functioning in India. So this is going to change the entire way the customer has been experiencing so far while hiring a private jet, or whosoever has a private jet of their own.
Okay, you mentioned about cost saving. Could you help us better understand in terms of how your platform or any other platform which is existing globally in this particular segment, private charters, how can this help customers to save costs as such?
Perfect. I'll give a small example. Today, if in India, you want to fly from, let's say, Chandigarh to Raipur, example, and there's no plane in Chandigarh. So we fly a plane aircraft from Delhi to Chandigarh, Chandigarh to Raipur, and it was just a drop, and Raipur, Delhi. So we are being charged for the round trip, entire base to base. So this cost comes out to be almost, let's say, rupees X. Okay. Now, what if there was a plane already available in Chandigarh that day? Okay. Then what happens? We fly Chandigarh, Raipur, and maybe the plane had to come back to the base, that's Delhi. So the client would be only charged Chandigarh, Raipur, back to Delhi. So you're saving that leg. And depending on the aircraft price, you can save as low as ₹1,00,000 to as high as ₹5,00,000 for that just Delhi Chandigarh leg. So that's the beauty of BookMyJet, wherein given a choice, if you have a plane in your city itself, you can save at least if not more, at least 10% of the cost, which is a saving. So that's how we are building it up.
Which is quite complementary to the way we have services in logistics and supply chain management, having particular vehicles in a city and not having to pay for the round trip, which you're not even using. So that's how actually it's coming to the travel segment also. Okay.
Very true.
But anyways, yours is a luxury product, whether you are selling it to a company, an organization, because in case of B2B, it becomes a necessity at times, as opposed to a traveler who might be traveling for leisure or business, maybe for that matter.
Right.
So for this kind of a luxury product, how good is it to rely on websites? Let me explain it to you better. For instance, if I want to book a private jet and I come to your website and I look at the pictures and the videos of the available aircrafts and the parameters that there are, specifications that there are, how good is it for me to rely on what is being shown on the website? Because this is not a $2,000 trip that we are taking with any domestic airline. We are spending millions here. So how good is it for me as a customer to rely on the website? Can I still do that?
Supriya, it's a fantastic question. And thank you. Let me thank you for asking this question to me. I understand the risk factor is very high. It's a high involvement product because you're going to spend about 5-6 lakh rupees and not some peanuts. What do we show on the screen? It's an app-based platform. are the exact pictures of the aircraft which are available. So what we do is we have got two logins. One login is for the customers and one login is for the operators. Operators are the people who own the private planes. We give them the login ID and password, and they can put the locations of their aircraft wherever it is, whenever it is, and they can put. See, you have to market yourself. You can't put a shitty picture of your aircraft. You have to put a really good picture, clean pictures, nice pictures, but not not edit it and make fool of a customer. You have to put a really good picture of aircraft so that people see, right? So today you'll be surprised today when everything is technologically integrated, right? We are the first people to take this first step towards putting private jet services on a technology platform. I know it will come with a whole lot of a risk, but I promise you one thing: in a day to come, in a year or two, this will actually change the way people has been dealing with private jet charter operators across the globe, not just in India. So people have started accepting it. People have it, and in the first 2 months, today we are a 2-month-old company, BookMyJet. We have already done 3 deals. We've already done 3 flights on online. It is a huge thing for us. So people are moving towards technology. People are moving towards websites, seeing the information. And in BookMyJet also, there's one thing which I wanted to share actually. The booking part of it, when you make the payment, the entire system transfers into an offline system. So you don't have to make a payment online.
Okay.
Because I totally buy the point, because not many people would be giving you 5 lakh or 10 lakh or 20 lakh rupees online, and that to an Indian market scenario. But this will change definitely. This will definitely change when people will not mind making online payment for this kind of services also.
Now, moving to the back end, how do you make sure you, when I say you, I am referring to your organization and the suppliers and the vendors and all the stakeholders, basically.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that the customers are being served remarkably? Because you just mentioned, and we've been talking about it, it's a top-notch luxury product and customers expect nothing but the best. So how do you make sure together that you are providing that remarkable experience to the customer, which is unforgettable, so memorable in its own way?
Our affair with the customer starts right on the time when they come to us or when we go to them, as a supplier. So when they come to us asking for a query, we make sure that, we give them options. Many times client just comes to us and say, listen, I need to go to Jabalpur and I need a twin-engine plane. For them, it is just one statement. For us, it's an assignment. So we give them options, right options. We ask them questions beforehand. How many passengers? Would you prefer a single engine or twin engine? Would you prefer a turbo propeller or would you prefer a jet? What time would you like to go and what time would you like to come, etc. What is normally we give a choice if you want to share the purpose. So you might be going for a wedding, or maybe you might be going for official work. So accordingly, we can suggest you a plane, right? So we give them options with all the information about the aircraft, with all the technical specification, not making it very bulky, giving them all the relevant information so that the person who's booking the plane knows what he or she is booking with us. Okay. Once they book the plane, okay, we have the payment, okay, because we work on 100% advance. Something that we do, I have not seen anybody doing it in Indian market. We keep a track of weather conditions. For example, if we want to fly on the 30th and he's made the booking today, so we are 10 days away from the flight, we start tracking the weather 7 days before the flight, and we see the trend. There could be a weather condition that could hamper the flight tomorrow. And he has already a plan to meet the chairman or meet the chief minister or meet somebody in Jabalpur. That can get hampered. So if we see that the weather conditions are changing, maybe towards the closer to the date of flying, we inform the office that, listen, gentlemen, the weather conditions are deteriorating, and on that day there's a chance of heavy rainfall or thunderstorm, or there's a warning, or there's something, so that he keeps his plan B ready. It's not all about taking money from him and hanging him in a in between, wherein like he's screwed if he's not able to go to the place he wanted to, right? So we keep a weather condition, we keep a track of, so that they can take an alternate. Number 2. Number 3, you'll be surprised if once somebody flies with us, we have a system internally wherein we know his or her meal preference, what is he or she is allergic to. So don't have to ask again. We know exactly that this person doesn't like garlic or this person doesn't like lactose or whatever,
Yeah.
So we keep a track of it.
Mhm.
Okay. We also have, we had this incident very recently when a chairman's kids were flying, and he's very close to us, and he has shared once that it was his birthday,
Mhm.
and we surprised his kids, one of the kid who had a birthday that day, and we had a cake and we had flowers inside and some nice gift, and he was surprised that how did you guys know about it? I said, I know your kid when they were like 1 year old, so I know them for last almost 15 years now. So that's 15 years. So we have all this data, all this historic data we keep with us. We analyze it because I believe data is something which we work on it very, very, very seriously. Right. So our journey with the customer doesn't end when they have just landed in the destination. I think our journey continues. We continues right from the time they get down. We send them a feedback form. We call them up. We send them a message. We take a feedback. If there's anything that we can do better, you know, we keep a track of their birthday, anniversaries. We keep a track of their business also. If they are launching a new office in somewhere where it will be difficult for them to reach through commercial planes, so we tell them that you're having an office here, and we sometimes we carry when we go for a meeting physical, we carry a map with us, showing that these are the places that you have a plant, and you cannot reach these two places through commercial because there's no operation over there. So you can take a private jet, and this is how you can work. So we actually though we sit across the table, but we make a self sit with the person, with the client, and say that this is a problem that we can foresee for you, and this is how we as a company can sort it out.
Exactly.
So our love affair continues. We believe in having a love affair for long term, and not just giving them a services and forgetting about after the flight is done. So that's how.
Yeah, and what could be more special than love in the air? Anyways, coming to the point, you mentioned of the weather conditions, and just a trick here, because sometimes in my experience in India, when Google tends to show what the weather conditions would be in a particular place, they don't really turn out to be that. So the reason I'm mentioning this is sometimes things go south, and our whole effort of creating that memorable experience for the customer turns the other way around, in spite of the fact that we are putting in all the effort. So what happens in that case? How do you recover from those kind of unfavorable experiences that may happen, or they do happen?
Supriya, very frankly speaking, unpleasant experience can only happen when your communication is not transparent. If you're transparent from day one, I say it very in a jokingly manner, whether it's a personal relationship or a professional relationship, your communication has to be absolutely transparent. And that's the reason I said, we tell the client, see, I know of a lot of people who just take money and they say, okay, fine, the flight will be done. And they don't even care that customer is going to meet somebody for $1 million or a $1 billion deal. That meeting is very, very, very important. You have to make sure that that person has to be there on time. So that's where 4C Aviation, our 11 years old baby, and now our latest baby, BookMyJet, we have never done that thing. We have never done that thing. Speaking very, what we do is we make sure. Sometimes it happens. Like recently, we had a scenario in Lucknow. We landed there in weather, and weather suddenly changed in Pantnagar, a place in Uttarakhand, and then and the gentleman has to go. So I told him that there are two ways, because suddenly it changed in half an hour. It just changed, and we could not do, because this is the natural circumstances. So I told the person, I said, sir, option one is, either you drive down if you have reached today itself. If not, then we will hold the plane in Lucknow itself and we'll try tomorrow morning, because tomorrow the weather seems to be fine as per the trend. When we see the, not the website, but we have a system where we see the weather is perfectly fine tomorrow, and we'll have a bracket. We'll have a huge window to fly tomorrow. So if not in the morning, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, at least we'll be out from here. Okay. Though it had a risk that what if he's not able to fly tomorrow, then he's screwed. Then what we did was he said, okay, fine, I'll fly tomorrow morning. We held the plane in Lucknow. We started tracking the weather in the morning, right from 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. 9:45, the weather was fine. And 10 o'clock, we were airborne.
Brilliant.
Okay. So, but it's not every time that, God could be, in favor of us. Sometimes it happens. But then As I said earlier, the only trick that works out there, the only strategy works out is just tell the customer transparently everything. They like transparency, nothing else. And they'll understand. They know weather is not in anybody's hand. But sometimes the plane gets technically grounded at the last moment. It has happened. So there's no point, unfortunately, in our industry, I've seen people lying to customers, saying that, the plane has got this and that.
Oh.
Tell them so that they are mature people. They'll plan out something. We'll work together. We'll plan out the plan B.
Mm-hmm.
I think transparency is the key to everything. Transparency and open communication. You have to keep that door open.
Makes sense. And I'm already excited about the changes we are going to see in the near future in terms of private charters with what BookMyJet is doing. And I'm sure there are many more organizations that will follow the way. Santosh, what's your message for all of us, especially the aerofields in the audience?
Okay. I keep saying that, this generation is the most luckiest generation the history of mankind has ever seen.
Yep.
So just walk out of your house, right? Do whatever you want to do. Don't be shy of anything. Just do whatever you want to do. There's no dearth of money in the market. I mean it. There's no dearth of money in the market. All that you need to do is go out in the market, get one mentor for yourself, who can help you, who can handhold you throughout your journey. And just do. Just go cracking. Don't feel shy, dunya kya bolegi, wo kya bolenge, what people say. Don't do anything. Just go out, venture out, do whatever your heart says, and do it with full vigor. Don't look back. This is the best generation, I'm telling you. This is the best time in life you'll ever get. COVID or no COVID, doesn't matter. COVID has come out with a lot of opportunities for a lot of people. Look at 23 unicorns in 8 months in India. Imagine where we are living. We are living in a paradise today. Come on. So just rock it.
Yeah, rocket. I like that. Thank you so much for being on our show, Santosh. It was a pleasure hosting you.
Thank you so much, Supriya. Thank you so much, and God bless you, and keep up the good job that you're doing.
Thanks for listening to CXO with your host, Supriya. I hope you enjoyed a dive into the nitty-gritty of customer experience. If you are committed to applying these ideas in the real world, stay tuned with me. Don't forget to check out all the links and resources in the show notes. That's all for this episode, folks. See you next time.